be streaming episode 4 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations Turnabout Beginnings. This is part 8 of the whole playthrough. I hope you guys enjoy as usual. I'm going to just send this on Discord, right? Okay. Alright. Okay. Yeah, we're good to go. It's the beginning of a new trial. And apparently we go straight into the trial on this one. The girl, let her go. Shut up. Come closer, and I kill her. Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. There was a bang, apparently. What was that? I'm reading through the file of an old court case. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. The first one? Fugitive data. Terry Falls? Charge kidnapping, murder, sentence death penalty. Fugitive movements. After escaping Falls, met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, were captured on Eagle Mountain after about 8 hours after his escape. His very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. Six years earlier, Mia Fey, first trial. I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm going to die. I never should have accepted this case. Good morning. Don't be so jumpy, Mia. I didn't do nothing. I swear, I didn't kill nobody. Terry Falls, my first client. Sentenced to death 5 years ago, and now a prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make small talk and try to relax him. So why did you escape anyway? I'm sorry. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill anybody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere. But Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago. Sorry, I told a little lie. Oh boy. But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed anybody. Sorry for asking, but you're on death row, right? I'm really sorry. They sentenced me to die 5 years ago, but I was strict, I tell you. That woman, she lied in her testimony, that's why I got the death penalty. I swear it, I didn't kill her. I could never do that. 2 days ago, he escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. Then about 8 hours later, a policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. The police believe that Terry Falls did it. After you escaped, did you meet the policewoman? Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped. So that much is true. He didn't meet with the victim. But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive. It's true. I can trust him, right? I mean, I should. I don't know why, but yeah, it feels like... Oh, you're not going to figure out the truth just by staring at the guy. Yo, why are you here? I came to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big scary lion's den. I thought maybe you'd like someone to play with. Where is Mr. Grossberg? Huh. So that old man is probably still in bed. I bet he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep. Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando. And somehow, I think this is Godot. You know, Diego Armando Godot? It looks like him anyway, the beard. And I guess he may have dyed his hair white or silver. But it's him, right? He has the same vest on top of his shirt. So Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Crossburg Law Offices, is here for me? No, you've got it all wrong. Today you're the finest. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine, an escaped death row convict for a first client. Yeah, thanks. I sure wish I could get out of it, though. Relax, I just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well. Really? However, unlike a certain somebody who I won't mention, he's earned a reputation as a genius since beginning his law career. Genius? Well, it's about time to head in, kitten. Sharpen those claws of yours. It's go time. A solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. And that's what my client ran away from. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple childlike voice, I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth. February 16th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Hi, it is Miles Edgeworth. Is it supposed to be a different judge, or is it the same one but looking younger? Hold on. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. I understand the lawyers from both sides are newcomers. Yes, Your Honor, I'm Mia Fey. Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. So you're the new prosecutor everyone is talking about, eh? They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age. At 20, Your Honor. I guess our little kitten hasn't earned herself much of a reputation yet, huh? Come on, Mia, you can't lose. Not to someone younger than you. Young people running a trial. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Now then, the defendant in this case is currently a felon on death row. 2 days ago he escaped from a police wagon, is that correct? Precisely, but the defendant is not on trial for escaping prison. On the day that the defendant escaped, the policewoman was murdered, so we're here to determine if Mr. Falls was responsible for her death. You got it, kitten. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear your opening statement. Yes, Your Honor, it was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Falls, was sentenced to death in this very court. His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. It is true that the artwork for Miles Edgeworth makes him look a bit younger. A truly horrible crime, I remember it well. There was no decisive evidence, so the trial was long and protracted. Correct, but in the end, what finally decided the case was a certain witness's testimony. A witness's testimony. The testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted the criminal. She arrested Mr. Falls at the scene and later testified against him. She said she witnessed Mr. Falls throw his young victim into the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered, so Miss Hawthorne's testimony was the one that put him away. That policewoman you just mentioned, that wouldn't be exactly the victim, the same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Aha, I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago, with only one thing on his mind, to take revenge against the woman who convicted him. Aha, the truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes. What is it? It's quite obvious that the defendant is guilty. There hasn't even been a trial right yet. Wait a minute, that's not right. At least hear the case. Watch yourself, Miss Fey. I'm not sure I care for your word choice or your tone of voice. Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders. Why, you're even younger than me, you hypocrite. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, please call your first witness. I called the detective who was in charge of the initial investigation of this case. It was already Gumshoe back then. How old is he in this one? He's not in the list. But he must be younger, right? You'd think. Gumshoe, Dick Gumshoe, I'm the homicide detective in charge of the case, sir. Finally got promoted to the detective division half a year ago. I don't believe anyone asked you about that. Hey, ma'am, you got any idea how much work it takes? What is it? You're really gorgeous. Excuse me? No, seriously, detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional, otherwise I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache. Okay, I got it. So he was like that, huh? Now, detective, tell us about the incident. Yes, sir, right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Awthorne, a veteran on the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. That much is written in the autopsy report. The court would like to hear more details about the incident itself. Yes, sir, I gotcha. Okay, let's take a look at this aerial map of the area here. Ah, crap. I skipped part of the text. And the river that runs under there is Eagle River. I guess he said this is the bridge where the accident occurred or something. The victim and the defendants met there on top of the bridge. After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. He was recaptured at a police checkpoint as he was trying to make his getaway, sir. I see. Dusky Bridge map added to the court record. Was the victim's blood found on the bridge? The victim, Sergeant Valerie Awthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Unfortunately, no traces of whatever it was found on the victim. Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you that I absolutely despise conjecture. If there was no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there. Your Honor, if you would listen to the testimony we have prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced. The two of them most certainly did meet on the bridge that day. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm not sure I like you. Wagging your finger at me as though I were some hoser. Detective, proceed with your testimony. Yes, sir. Here we go, Mia. Hang on. Okay, now, listen carefully, kin. One little mistake and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me and get ready. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Awthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls was arrested at the police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge. Naturally. Now, would the defense please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination? Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination coming right up. Hey, settle down there, kidden. If you keep trembling like that, you're gonna make me spill my coffee. I'm not trembling. It's just cold in here. The courtroom can be a cold battlefield, alright, especially for a beginner. And I don't need you to worry about me. I mean the defendant, the witness, everyone's a beginner in here. Ah, you got me there. But maybe you should keep your claws out and show them what you've got, kid. It's okay, Mia. Stay calm. Just remember those court projector videos you stayed up all last night watching. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Awthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls, and that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. Who was that person? This unknown person. You have no idea who it might be, right? Sorry, but I'm afraid I do. What? The one who called Sergeant Awthorne was the defendant, Terry Falls. What proof do you have of that? What? The defendant? The defendant called her? Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about our phone call with Mr. Falls. A note? Yeah, a top-secret memo that she left in her desk. Victim's note added to the court record. According to this note, it seems the one who called her to the bridge was indeed the defendant, Terry Falls. Or someone who called her to tell her to be on the bridge. To sort of try to frame my client, maybe? And then he would have killed her, the one who called, who was not the defendant. Oh well. Whose bright idea was it to keep that note from me? Ah, looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up, never ask a question if you don't already know the answer. It's that detective's fault, he's the one that said unknown person. Hey now, don't make that face at me. I just said it that way because the prosecutor told me to. Was that a trap? With that cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky. Oh, he's cute now. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. Let me have a look at this. Falls, 4:30 p.m. at that bridge. Wear the white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Who's Dahlia? What proof do we have that that bridge refers to Dusky Bridge? Lots of unknowns. A bridge up in the mountains? But why meet it? Why meet there? Because it is a very important place to the defendant, that's why. What do you mean by that? If you remember 5 years ago, the defendant kidnapped a young girl. He was chased onto a bridge and it was there that he killed his hostage. And the place where all of this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge. The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested and handcuffed Mr. Falls. Returning to the scene of the crime, how nostalgic. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. How do you know it was there? Was the body of the victim discovered right away? Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great. We even got to say, don't move, we've got you surrounded. Wait a second, isn't there something weird about that? The location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains, so how did they find out about the crime so quickly? Sergeant Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right? Huh, if that's what had happened, then she wouldn't have been killed. She never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Falls, but she left a note on her desk about it. Give me a few seconds. Give me a few seconds. Pressing buttons I wasn't supposed to press, but wonder why she didn't mention the phone call to anyone. The criminal stuffed our body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls was arrested at the police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. Yeah, right. I'm a bit out of breath. Listen up, kid. There was a big trap waiting for you in that testimony. A trap? Walk into it carelessly and it'll leave more than just a flesh wound. Fun, huh? No, it's not. What if you want to have any chance at all, you'd better get some more information. And if you're going to get caught in a trap, it's best to get caught early. You can always look for contradictions afterwards. The ever-famous contradictions. I sure hope I can find some of those. So I already pressed this and this. Is this where you found the body? Mr. Falls had a car then. Well, that bridge is way up in the mountains, ma'am. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right? You mean that the defendant drove his own car? No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Car thieves. I'm not sure how I feel about car thieves. Is this guy... shit. This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk. Ah, there we go. Naturally, that's the body of Valerie Awthorne in there. Wow, that doesn't look... That doesn't look too comfortable. But she was already dead, so... Or at least that's what they would have us believe. The victim, she was stabbed in the back, correct? Yeah. For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back. We're talking about a woman here. Can't tell from this photo, but the knife was stuck in her back nice and firm. The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car? Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange. Do you? Anyway. The lock or handle of the car? It seems, I don't know. I mean, if he stole the car, the keys would have had to be on the igniter. So he had the key to open the trunk, right? So why does it look like the key mechanism is completely gone or something? What did the defendant have to say about this photo? What he always says, ma'am. I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing. That's all he says. Nothing? I wouldn't say he did nothing. At the very least, we know he stole a car. It's just what he always says, Your Honor. And then he always says... Sorry. I told a little lie. Or something like that. Well, in any case, it seems he was caught and arrested. Precisely. Mr. Falls was arrested at the police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. Listen up, kid. There's a big trap waiting for you in that testimony. Trap? Yeah, right, okay, no, that I already... Hold on. But I do see something strange, but... It's the key mechanism that looks weird to me. But I've got nothing to... That was wrong. I do see something strange, yeah. That certainly is some impressive police work. Well, no, actually it was way too close for comfort. We set up that checkpoint just after 5 PM. We figured that Mr. Falls just tried to run. What do you mean it was too close for comfort? The two of them arranged to meet at 4:30 p.m. and it takes approximately 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint. That was kinda close. Any later and Mr. Falls could have slipped right by. Yeah. I'm at a bit of a loss. No, okay, no, I already got that one. I think, it's whatever it is, if I have to present something, I think it's gonna have something to do with that note, probably. Well, no, I take back what I said earlier about this perhaps not being the right bridge. It probably has to be. Because it's the bridge from that case, so it would make sense for it to be another bridge when she says that bridge. If it was already that bridge from the previous case. Talk to Dahlia, tell her this time the whole truth must come out. What is that one? That thing? Or hold on. No? It's annoying. Here's a photo of the trunk. Oh, hold on. Or maybe one of the profiles maybe has a piece of info that I can present too. Sorry, I told a little lie. Or something like that. Witness in the case against Falls 5 years ago. Ah, he's 26 in this one, okay. Homicide detective in charge of the initial investigation, still new to his position. My senior and rival at the office a bit smug. What's with the scars he has on his face? They're a bit weird. Or could it be what she's wearing, maybe? Or, stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Well, or maybe the fact that the lock seems to have been forced indicates that it was the police trying to open it, maybe. To force it open. No, that's not it. Bridge up in the mountains. Yeah, I've already been through this, but... yeah, he was chased onto a bridge and it was there that he killed his hostage. Oh, fuck's sake. Stop sending me messages, damn it. Yeah, the very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested and handcuffs Mr. Falls. Returning to the scene of the crime, how nostalgic. Yeah, but I've already been through this. No. I do see something strange, but I don't know how to point it out. How long have I been on this one thing? I've already been through this. Hold on. I've already been through all that. I'm getting there. I thought I had already tried that. Witness. What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Faye? I'm sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say. This is the first time I've ever had to actually address someone like that. You should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Faye, I'm not sure I like this. Yeah, actually, I was just thinking to myself, that's part of the reason I got so distracted. We already know the outcome of this trial. We know that she lost her first case, because we learned it in the first case, and we also know that the first time Edgeworth ever lost to anyone was against Phoenix Wright later, so... We already know that she's not gonna win. See there, little kid, want a piece of my coffee candy? Candy? Well, you're still too young to be drinking grilled coffee. Come on, Mia, shake it off, you're a lawyer. Detective! Yes, ma'am. This photo. You said that there was nothing peculiar about it, is that correct? Yeah, that's what I said. Well then, I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim. The note? It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like, thus the special request. I have one very simple question for you, detective. Where is the white scarf? Can't seem to find it in this photo. Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am. When you stopped there, you should have looked for it. The caller told her to wear it to identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this? I see the defense is a little lacking. The scarf you are searching so desperately for, is it this one perchance? Where did you find that, sir? On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation. Why? Why did you tell me? I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. It's the safest place I know. That hotshot sure has a flair for the dramatic. It's not exactly white as the caller requested, but as you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for. Looks like it spent some time in the mud. Not surprising, it was drizzling on the mountain that day. Prosecutor Edgeworth, he was intentionally hiding that scarf the whole time. Hiding evidence? The court would accept the scarf into evidence. Now, if the attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is alright with you, isn't it, Miss Fay? Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around this marmy little neck. Very good. Now, if we're done with this mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusively and with hard evidence that Miss Hawthorne and Mr. Falls did indeed meet that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there. That sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about it. Everything is moving at this whim. Don't forget, kid, there's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius. He was already considered a genius even before his first case? Wow, that must be some achievement, right? Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. That must have been when the scarf fell off. Looking at this photo, you really get the sense that this bridge is very high up. It is about a 40-foot drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway? Let's just say that it was a well-intentioned third party. Aha, a potential witness. So why isn't this person in the courtroom? Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify. The person in question is very delicate, Your Honor. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel them to testify. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Witness's photo added to the court record seems to have been taken by the witness. Who's this witness? So as you can see, Terry Falls had both the motive and the opportunity. I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on that bridge. Aha, the truth is becoming clear to me now. Yes, it's quite obvious. It's clearly guilty. Not again. That's not fair. I haven't even done my cross-examination yet. What do you mean, Events on Dusky Bridge. Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place.
Hold it!
Who is this eyewitness? She's a college student. A female college student? That's right, meaning she's female and a college student, ma'am. She doesn't do well in front of other people, so I came to testify for her. Maybe so, but as a defense attorney... Oh shit, I skipped text again. This happens way too much. For the time being, we're not relying on the witnesses' statements, that is all. What is that supposed to mean? The prosecution has other more decisive evidence. Our case doesn't rest on the vague testimony of a female college student. A female college student, hey? It means she's female and a college student, sir. He seems pretty happy about it. If you absolutely must hear her testimony, you'll have to give us a good reason why. Please tell us about the more decisive evidence in question. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. We can't really see whether it's her or not on this thing, right? The victim is wearing the scarf in that photo, alright? So about the witness who took this photo, what was this person doing all the way up in the mountains? She was taking photos of wild flowers, apparently. There are many unusual types of flora on that mountain, Miss Faye. People in the area say it's because of the spirits that live there. Spirits? Now that you mention it, this photo, this cloudy fog-like thing, is it a ghost? I don't believe it. No, Your Honor, no, I don't think it's a ghost. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. That must have been when the scarf fell off. Drizzling, huh? That's right, there was a light rain coming down. The whole place was dreary, but not as dreary as the mood that's in this courtroom right now. Looks like a cold front just moved in. In any case. Point is that the area was quite damp. There was even some fog. I even slipped and fell while I was on the bridge. It was really something. Hold on a minute. Not that one. Not that one either. This one. She doesn't look all that wet, does she? I mean, you'd think that the coat would be drenched or something, but it doesn't seem to be. Ah, shit, no, I wanted to present the picture on that one. Well, at least try. Save and then try to show it. No, okay, that doesn't work. Showed the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Ah, but wait. I didn't present the right photo. I think I presented that one, but it's that one that I should have presented, right? Hold on. I'm getting there. Shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. How would he have shoved her down? Besides, he's in front of her, right? If she was facing him, how did he shove her down? There wasn't even any room for him to get behind her. Did I pick the right photo? Yeah, the crime photo? No, apparently not. Okay. Oh crap. Well, she's wearing the scarf there, alright. Hold on a minute, something seems different. Yeah, look at where her belt is. There's two pairs of buttons on top of her belt, above the belt, and on this one, she's wearing the belt way higher up, like it's not the same person wearing it or something. I mean, I guess it could have moved while he shoved her when he shoved her into the. Oh man, I hate this. How is that possible? Yeah, I didn't press on that, by the way. Is that part of the witness's testimony as well? Of course it is. I pushed the victim hard in the back and she fell down right on her stomach. I remember that happening once myself. It was really brutal. Are you talking about seeing someone get pushed, or were you the one getting pushed? Or does it mean that you pushed someone down like that once? With his mind-boggling tales and the way he said brutal, I wonder if he's Canadian. Brutal? Save your nasty look for the right person. Huh? Take a look. Poor baby. The court record seems to have wet itself. Hey, watch where you spill your coffee. Court record, huh? So there's something in the court record here, right? But didn't I already try that? I thought I did. So at the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct? Yeah, and fog too, just a generally soggy atmosphere. Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere. This is a photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk. Isn't that what I tried earlier, or did I pick multiple times the wrong picture? Because I did say something to that effect before. Considering the conditions at the scene of the crime, something isn't right. Well, by all means, please enlighten us as to what isn't right. Well, her coat seems to be dry. Naturally, the answer is right here. The victim's coat. As far as I can see, there is nothing strange about it. Well, the fact that it's not wet and the fact that the belt doesn't seem to match with the coat as the same way that it did in that other... Well, it's a matter of buttons at belt. That's it. That's exactly what's strange. Recall the testimony. What were the conditions on the bridge that day? It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of the bridge, that the part of her coat should have been covered in mud. Ah, yeah, it's true, yeah. Covered in mud too, not just wet. I didn't even think about the fact that she was supposed to have fallen flat on her front. The other day I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous play of beard was befouled. I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy. If your honor had fallen in the shower instead of on a muddy street, your glorious hockey beard pride of the legal league would be wet but not muddy. Fortunately, I have yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken. Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day? The surface of the bridge, huh? Well, with the scarf, right? It's covered in muck. A real man wouldn't stand for a taunt like this. Neither would a real woman. Of course I can. Thanks to the piece of evidence you brought. Here is the evidence that proves that the surface of the bridge was muddy. The evidence is this scarf. Ah, it should be obvious. If the scarf fell onto the bridge and got this muddy... Oops, sorry, that was my fault. It means that the bridge was obviously covered in mud. No, I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo. Hey, same to you, buddy. This phase assertion makes perfect sense to me. I do admit that there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. However, the real question is, why is there a contradiction? Huh? For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at what the explanation in this case may be, shall we? Alright, it's not like he's really giving me a choice here. You're doing pretty well for a little kitten. Mr. Armando, no matter what he says, a contradiction always comes down to a lie. It's either the victim discovered in the trunk, the witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness's testimony that stated she saw the moment of the murder. But just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it? The false evidence. It's one of those three. What you said just now, I'm not sure I like that. That wasn't me, Your Honor. It was the coffee aficionado over here that said it. This court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know. Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into court. But we won't let him. We'll expose his evidence as the flimsy scam it really is. Yes, the false evidence in this case is the... Well, I doubt that the photo itself lies, more the interpretation. The body in the trunk, well, it was found by the police. And the picture was taken like that, so it can't be that lied. It all comes down to what can lie. Can the evidence lie, or can people's interpretation of the evidence lie, or testimonies? Yes, testimonies can lie. I'm gonna save, but go for that one. It is a no-brainer. Obviously, it's the witness that's suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, is that testimony exactly what the witness claims to have seen? Yeah, that's what the witness told us. That testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all. That's true. Huh, it's not just true, it's the truth. If there was a truly decisive witness in this case, I'm certain that boy wonder over there would have called them in the first place. Yeah, actually, that makes sense. The very reason that he insists on her not testifying kinda tells me that she has something to say that might be important for me, the defense. Your Honor, the defense requests to cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well. Sorry, I'm trying to get my hair to stay in place and not be all like spiky when I take off my hat later. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears that we'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all. You should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court, but we are prepared to present our witness at any time. Very well, please bring forth your witness at this time. What Mr. Edgeworth said kind of worries me. What does he mean by the brutal truth? Now, let's proceed with the testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, please go right ahead. Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution summons the woman who saw the events that day with her very own eyes. This is it, Mia. The battle begins here. Who is it? Witness, what is your name and occupation? Oh no, not her. Not her again. Not her again. Ah, fuck's sake. Everyone is so silent that I can hear their hearts going pitter-patter. But why didn't she recognize her in court? Ah, yeah, no, she did mention something about her being tied to the first case. Yeah, I remember that now. It was like last week, but yeah, I had already forgotten. Yeah, that was a week ago. When I look at you, how can I put it? You look as scrumptious as a double and a dozen donut holes. I feel like I want to hurry up and hand down the verdict just to have a bite. Hey, not so fast. As I said before, this witness is very sensitive and delicate. I would ask the court to please exercise care when addressing her. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You are a true gentleman. Miss Faye, you could learn a lot from this man. If he's such a gentleman, he sure doesn't act like one to me.
Sir.
Yes, my dear.
This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the trouble I might cause.
Not at all. It's no trouble at all. Now then, may we please have your name and occupation?
My name is, Melissa Foster. I'm a college student, a freshman in the literature department.
You were on the scene when the unfortunate event occurred, correct? And you were the one who took this photo, is that accurate?
How can you be so mean?
Now see here, what are you doing showing that in her face like that? Huh? But it's just a photograph, it's not like it's something dangerous. Next time I'll be forced to penalize you. Uh-oh, I don't like to turn this as taken. Is she staring at me?
And you would be...
I'm the defense attorney, my name is Mia Fey.
I see, so you are.
Now then, young lady, could you please give us your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll do my best.
I hate this girl. The witness's photograph.
I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Then I noticed there were two people standing on the suspension bridge. Suddenly they just started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows a crucial moment. And right after that I called the police.
By the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred? I believe the map would be of help here.
I was standing right over here. I was standing in a beautiful field surrounded by tall cliffs.
Uh-huh. I don't think this is the case. Where they show that it took place, it doesn't seem like it's on the same level of height, right? It does seem like the bridge should be higher up. Isn't that so? No, okay, no, my bad, no. Okay, no. The part where she was separated from the part with the car by a sort of like higher cliff than the cliff that is like over the river. Okay, no, my bad. It's my bad. So you took the photo from that location, eh?
I brought the camera I was using at the time, just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to.
Oh, what a cute camera, just like its owner. Camera added to the court record. Melissa Foster took the witness's photo with a small but powerful model. Alright then, Miss Fay, time for your cross-examination, but I warn you, make the witness cry again and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel. Witness's photograph. Yeah, let me save before I try anything then, because if I could get penalized just for pressing her for more information, I think I should take that precaution first. Pardon me. Did you say wildflowers?
Yes, the mountain is famous for its beautiful spring wildflowers.
But it's only February.
Well, I couldn't wait for spring to come.
That's, that's a very weak excuse. Oh, I just know how you feel. It's just like when I first started growing this glorious beard of mine. I just couldn't wait, so I wore a dyed blonde Santa beard until mine grew in properly. Would you mind if we got back to the facts of the case, Your Honor? Okay, there was probably nothing worth it there. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Was there anything strange about the two of them?
I'm a bad girl, I know I am. It looked like they were having a really serious conversation up there, so I decided...
What? Decided what? I love watching other people fight too. In fact, I can't get enough of it. Actually, that's why I chose to become a judge in the first place. Too much info, Your Honor. In any case, it's perfectly natural for you to have kept watching them, especially dressed as they were.
Well, anyway, I was watching them very closely.
Okay, suddenly they just started fighting. Do you have any idea what they were fighting about?
No, I have no idea. Why do you ask that?
Oh, I just thought... I keep pressing the button too fast.
I would never eavesdrop. I got more class than that.
That's right, Miss Faye. Don't drag the witness down to your level. The photo, right? This one. Well, they don't seem to be arguing at that moment. They just started fighting. But they're not fighting on the photo.
right after that, I called the police.
Objection!
Yeah, they're not fighting. Witness, when you said you took a photo of the crucial moment, is this what you meant? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. You testified that you saw the two of them starting to fight. Normally that's the kind of thing we would refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented the photo like that?
Well, you see...
The photo presented was the only one there was. But if you really wanted to capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it. Dope. My apologies, young lady. But Miss Faye's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit. You can certainly downplay a situation, can't we? Can't ye?
I'm sorry. I'm a very bad girl. I used it all up. The film, I mean.
You ran out of film?
This photo was the last one.
What? Unfortunately, that is the truth. I personally examined all of the photographs she took that day. All the other photos are of the witness herself playing among the wildflowers. The witness herself? Then who took the photos?
Well, you see, my camera has a timer feature built into it.
Somehow I think this is a lie and that someone else was there taking the photos. So you took photos of yourself? I remember taking some photos of myself once too. Please, no details. It seems that Miss Faye's assertion was not so decisive after all. Wait, just a minute. Yeah, just... Wait a minute. Well, if she had no film left, she couldn't very well take more pictures, eh? Miss Foster, perhaps then you could tell us about the different sort of photo? Photos of the incident that you took with your very own eyes.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're quite the poet.
Very well then, let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts on the fight that you witnessed.
Yes, Mr. Judge.
Boy, this guy is really a sucker for sweet talk. Ha, it looks like the other kid in the room is the one that's getting all the attention. Yeah, it's sickening.
I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. And I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly they just started fighting. The victim turned around and tried to run away, but...
Now she's adding detail. She wasn't saying that before. The victim, why do you think she tried to run away? The victim, why do you think she tried to run away? With her police training, she certainly knew better than to turn her back on a criminal.
Objection!
This was a large, powerful man with a knife. If it had been a quaggy woman like you, I'm sure she would have acted differently. But hold on a moment. He's carrying his ball and chain. Can he really be, I guess... I mean, these things are supposed to be pretty heavy, right? So he would have to carry it with both hands, even if he is, like, super strong. I bet he didn't even have a knife there. If it had been a quaggy woman like you, I'm sure she would have acted differently. Quaggy? Why, you? If it had been me, I probably would have jumped into the river. There's still something wrong with this testimony.
She only got about 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back.
So you're saying Sergeant Awthorne wasn't able to get away from him?
Well, it's a narrow bridge and it was swaying back and forth. If you ask me, both of them were in danger of falling off. I only wish I could have done something to help her.
That seems to make sense. I wonder about that. Something seems kind of off. Huh, does it now? You have a good sixth sense. When you feel that something's off, that's when you need to figure out why. If Terry Falls isn't a criminal, and there must be something strange in that girl's testimony. Be careful, kitten. That girl has a judge wrapped around right around her little finger. You're going to have a tough time poking holes in that testimony of hers. You're going to have to come up with something really good, Mia.
you're really sure that they started fighting? Yeah, I already got that one. That has not changed. But on the map, it looks like the bridge is broken at some point, right? She was taking the photo from, I can't point it out to you guys, but if she was where she says she did, turning back and running towards the other end of the bridge, that would be towards the right on the map, the way it is displayed there. But there's a part of the bridge missing. Or that's it looks like it to me on the map, but they haven't referred to it at all in that way. So, witness, your testimony is a joke.
Huh? What? But I just...
Miss Faye, I thought I warned you not to make the witness cry. One short testimony and two bad contradictions. There's no possible excuse. You say there were two contradictions? It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the two of them were in the middle of the bridge. That's how I pictured them to be. But if they were, and the victim had turned around and tried to run, well then, she would have hit a dead end. You said 10 yards, but she couldn't have ran even 5. Because Dusky Bridge is collapsed on that side. What does all this mean? It's very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness told a charming little lie. That's all there is to it. This beautiful young lady has been lying to the court. Just a moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, allow me to personally apologize for the confusion. What do you mean? There's one major mistake in this diagram. What did you say? What are you referring to? It's all because this diagram was made after the incident occurred. It's a very old bridge. We couldn't find any official blueprints of it. So you're saying, I'm saying that even though this bridge is currently in disrepair, there's no evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident, but not the photo? It doesn't show on the photo? Yeah. Conveniently, no. The photo doesn't show it. Or inconveniently for me, anyway. Ah, crap. That's ridiculous! You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo. I apologize to the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. Ha, that guy is good. Huh? What do you mean? He planned it from the beginning. He's a genius, alright. That diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy. What? That coward. Well, Miss Faye, it seems you've once again made a reckless accusation.
I'm so sorry. I should have been more careful myself.
No, it wasn't your fault at all. Now then, shall we go on with the trial? I'd like to establish once and for all what it was that the witness actually saw. Indeed. All right, young lady. May I ask you to please proceed with your testimony?
But it's so hard to go on.
We're all on your side, Miss Foster. There's no need to worry. Just tell us what you saw.
Yes, sir.
Running from the crime.
After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw.
There's something that bugs me. Because I mentioned that with the knife before. I was just thinking about the my client carrying the victim over to the car from the bridge. How would he have done that when he is already carrying his ball and chain in one hand, as clearly depicted in the picture, in the photo? How could he have done so? I mean, okay, he's strong and all, but he was still he's still already carrying something that's supposed to be really heavy, and I'm looking for a word in English. Constraining or something like that. Anyway, it's something that was preventing him from moving conveniently. Anyway, witnessing such violence must have been difficult. Yes, sir, I'm still shaken up. If he accepts this testimony as it is, we're finished. Don't say that. Oh well, maybe I'll stop off at my favorite cafe on the way home. They make a really great matcha latte. This trial isn't over yet. That's what I like to hear. Alright, Miss Faye, your cross-examination, if you please. The contradiction is staring you right in the face, Mia. Go on the attack. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. How could he have done that? Are you saying that the victim didn't fall down on the bridge? Huh? Actually, of course she didn't fall down on the bridge. If she had fallen down, this photo wouldn't make any sense. If that was the case, her coat would have been all muddy.
Objection!
If you don't mind, I was asking the witness. So no need to be so rude. What, young lady? Of course she didn't fall down. The man in the prison uniform grabbed her before she could. Ah, we're one step too slow. And then what did the defendant do after that? And he carried her over to the car. That doesn't seem likely to me.
Hold it!
You personally witnessed that? Yes. Did anything strange happen when he did that? Well, I don't know if you'd call it strange or not, but that's when the victim's scarf fell off. You mean the scarf? Our words match what we found at the scene. I don't see any problem. I suppose that was the only way you could make sure the body stayed hidden. You mean the defendant carried the body all by himself? Yes. Considering the size of the defendant, I don't think it would be difficult. Again, he was carrying his ball and chain at the time. Yes, but let's remember that they were on a narrow bridge that was ready to collapse. Is it even possible for him to have carried a dead body on a bridge like that?
Objection!
Well, the fact of the matter is that he did. That kind of talk is just silly. Well, why did he get so emotional all of a sudden? Miss Faye, if you think there's some other possibility, please share it with the rest of us. Couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Why do you say that? It's already a broken down bridge hidden away in the mountains. Doing anything more to hide the corpse would be going overboard, wouldn't it? Yes, but that mountain is famous among hikers. A surprising number of people go out there. But it's February, right? And it was raining that day, correct? There's also a small temple and a channeling dojo there. Oh, it's in the same mountains as the Korean village? You know those monks, they just love cold, isolated places. I think the witness is trying to say that the corpse would have been found at any time. Besides, the witness is merely reporting what she witnessed with her own eyes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nothing of value there. Well, actually... no, not that. I don't have a piece of evidence to suggest it, but... wasn't he already on death row for killing someone and throwing that person off the bridge? I mean, yes, there would have been another way, just throwing the person off the bridge. That would have been a lot more convenient, right? bodies that fall into the river are never found or something like that. They said they said so earlier. Yeah, the Eagle River is right underneath it. Maybe that's it. Well, no, that can't have anything to do with that. Well, throwing her off the bridge might have been a bit difficult because of the fact that the ropes are in the way. I mean, it's not a simple bridge with just like one rope holding the planks and one rope for to hold yourself on both ends. It's a little bit different than that, so I guess that would have been a bit difficult, yeah. I saved, didn't I? Yeah, I think I did. It's either the photo or the map. Assuming I'm right with this. We seem to have hit something. A killer not wanting his victim to be found. I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There was a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found. Well, what is it? Take another look at the map of the area and you'll see how. There's a river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something interesting about the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered. And in the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. If 10 murders were to occur at that same spot above the Eagle River, you can bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body in the water. Especially that one, owing to the fact that he's already been found guilty of doing the same thing once before. Order, order, order! I'm not sure if I care for the way you put that, Miss Faye. But I must admit it does seem odd not to have thrown the body into the river. Oh! Well, Mr. Edgeworth? How sad. Perhaps Miss Faye would do well to try taking a dip in the river herself. After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature. What are you talking about? My point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Quite true. Miss Faye, it seems that your assertion is without merit after all. But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous. Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car. That's certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. Please, witness, go on with your testimony. I'll try. All you have to do is tell us only what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again. The mean lady. Who is he talking about? Alright, I'll do my best. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. But that still seems unlikely to me. And he carried her over to the car. The killer broke into the trunk. Why would he have to break into it if he had the key? What did the man do then? Well, naturally he got in the car and was about to flee. That's when I came to my senses. I said to myself, you have to call the police. And so that's when you call the police. You're sure that you saw all that with your own eyes? Yes, I'm 100% certain. Yeah, and then it picks up where it was before. So it has to be here. It has to be with that one sentence. Well, the picture here seems to indicate that she was right. Yeah. It does look like it was forced or something. Let me check it out again. What did the man do then? Well, naturally got in the car and was about to flee. That's when I came to my senses. I said to myself, you have to call the police. So that's when you call the police. You're sure that's what that you saw all that with your own eyes? Oops. Yeah, it's on this one. I think I already saved there, but... Well, she already testified that the scarf fell on the bridge. Seems to have been taken by the witness. Broke into the car. Wait, hold on a second. She said... No, maybe... Well, you can see the cliff on the left side here. Could she... How could you see it? If she was in that southwest, shall we say, part of the map there, and the cliff was in the way, which you can see on the picture there, the cliff that you can see on the left side, she couldn't see the car from where she was, could she? I mean, I could show the cliff on there, but I think it's gonna be more visible on the map. Ah, there we go. Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it this time. Done what? Made the crucial mistake. A crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Faye? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. Well, it seems that the car was indeed broken into. Yeah, that much seems to be true, but how would she know? You're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes. Yes, and? It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo for us from that day is here. Yeah, that's what I said. Do you see what I mean? Even if you tried to see the car, this outcropping of rock is directly in the way. Directly in the way. Ah! That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. I admit that the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car. The picture! I can show the picture for proof. That's right, it's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine. I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence to the court, yes? This is the location that the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. Yeah, look at this. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge, but the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff. Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff, but still you claim to have been able to see the killer's car. It shouldn't be hard enough to verify, right? Just adjourn the trial and send people to check whether what she says is true or not. Order! Order in the court! What is the meaning of all this ballyhoo? Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in the stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it. She was repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Mr. Judge, What is it? I think I must have remembered things wrong.
Hey, wait a minute, you can't just say that.
Objection!
Miss Faye, no one on the face of the planet is perfect. Yes, indeed. To her is human, not to forgive divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here.
What?
That's not fair! Just because she's pretty. Save the tears for later, kitten.
Mr. Armando.
Don't look back until the trial is over. Now is the time to go forward.
But that wasn't fair.
Okay, kitten, you need to relax. Then you need to remember the other kitten's testimony.
The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there.
So tell me, how did she know that? Yeah, that's a very good question indeed. How did she know that he broke into the trunk? Well, obviously she couldn't have seen it from where she was, so she had to be somewhere else. Why would she lie about it? Maybe because the spot where she was incriminating for her, right? Well, Miss Foster, until you can explain how you knew that, you're going to have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. Well, witness?
Well, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk because there were marks left on the trunk lid.
How would you know that?
I'm certain there were scratch marks from when he broke into it.
What? Let me see that photo. It's true, these certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. It's obvious that this trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss Faye, are you satisfied? The judge is on our side. I can't make any mistakes here. What she just said, is there a contradiction in there somewhere? Well, what doesn't work is that she couldn't have seen it, but we've already established that. I saved anyway, so... Melissa Foster, it looks like you finally betrayed yourself.
What?
You said you were in a field taking photos of wildflowers, but even so you knew about the scratches. The question is when? When did you get the chance to see those scratches? I finally got her. I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. Then perhaps it would be faster if Miss Faye explained herself. Your Honor, there is only one possible explanation. The reason the witness had seen the scratches was... she happened to be passing by, she put the corpse in herself. I doubt she was just passing by, otherwise they wouldn't ask the question. She's the owner of the car? That can't be because it's already been established that the car belonged to a couple, right? Yeah, so that can't be it. She put the corpse in herself? That sounds like a bit much. And we already know that she's not to be trusted from the first case, so... that she's that kind of person. There's only one way that the witness had the chance to see those scratches. Yes, what is it? Naturally, when she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was... Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it?
That's ridiculous, I could never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that...
I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Falls had been the one that put the corpse in the trunk, he would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open. Well, that's what I said earlier, too.
But he stole the car.
But he stole it? Didn't he say they were at a red light or at a traffic light or something? The traffic light was at the red or something like that they said before. So the keys had to be on the ignition, right? He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Yeah, there we go. Which means that the key would have still been in the ignition. That's exactly what I just said.
Oh, I see.
And I knew from the moment I saw that picture that there was something fishy with that thing having been forced open or something, because he he had to have the key from the way that he acquired the car. Short of saying that he just stole it. With that, we never would have uncovered the truth. That it couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk. No! Preposterous to even suggest that the witness put the body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photos that she took? The corpse could only have been put in the trunk when the incident occurred, and we already know that at the time she was taking photographs. But she said her camera had a timer on it. She said so herself. Now is your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself. It has a timer function. Let's take another look at this camera and see what features it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Why, it's almost as if she had brought this camera just to take this picture. I'm even starting to think that she was the person who called the officer to that spot on the bridge. But why, though? I just don't know why yet. What are you trying to say then, Miss Faye? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed? Well, if she really did use the camera as a timer, then the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. That's what I said earlier, too. Exactly, she was not in the field. Would the defense please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? In answering that question will also make clear Miss Foster's true identity. Well then, please answer this question. Well, it had to be somewhere from where she could see the car, anyway, at any rate. Well, I'd say on this side of the bridge. Right? Or if that part of the bridge... Not there, that's for sure. Right where the killer is standing? I did say before, I think, right? I'm gonna try it that way. Naturally, the witness was standing right there. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Nah, that's not it. Before pointing out where the witness was standing, Miss Faye should do something herself. She should figure out where she stands, if you catch my drift. Oh, don't worry, the drift was certainly caught. Crap. Oh, crap. Yeah, the last time I had saved was here. Hold on. Yeah, no, I need to show the camera first. Yeah, okay. I've already been through all this. I've already been through all this. Okay, let's save here then. Would the defense please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when this incident occurred? In answering that question will also make clear Miss Foster's true identity. Well then, please answer this question. Could it be? I'm gonna try... Well, there's still something that bothers me. The fact that on the photo, the thing with the buttons and the belts, that was a bit weird. Is it possible that it was her?
naturally the witness was right here, but that's where the victim, Miss Hawthorne, was standing. It's not her. It's not Miss Hawthorne. It's a black and white photo, so you can't see the difference in hair color, but... Order! 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 Miss Faye, what on earth? Your Honor, if I may. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. But this would mean that there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before the defendant met the victim. How is cyanide? Of course, Miss Falls met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Falls. You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne. What? I've never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Then who exactly is the victim in this photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness. What? It's the only possible explanation. And the woman that Mr. Falls met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster. Me? Let's remember that it was raining and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Falls himself believes that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne. But the defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped to get him convicted. But since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in the federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. You are just making this up as you go along. Where's your proof? I've got it all right here. This piece of evidence will blow this case wide open. At the time of the incident, Mr. Falls had forgotten what Valerie Hawthorne looked like. Oh, but yeah, he asked her to wear a scarf for identification. Because he didn't know what she looked like. Mr. Falls had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification, namely this muddy scarf. Ah, it was Mr. Falls who requested that she wear the scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf like she asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. The only thing that I don't know is that if she killed the victim, what's her motive? Well, what do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster? No! What is it? What is it? What is it? Oh. She pretended to faint? Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby. It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together. The only question is, why did she do it? Well, isn't that obvious? She's the real culprit. Huh. Well, we'll have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are both to wait in their respective lobbies. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well, this court is in recess. Oh, we're already at that point. February 16th, 1:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 4. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want to say thanks. You're real good. You really hooked me up. Thanks, we're almost there. Once I prove that she committed the crime, Yeah, but there's one more big obstacle we've got to get past. Obstacle? Yeah, motive. Why would Melissa Foster kill that policewoman anyway? Yeah, that's something I have yet to figure out. Motive, huh? Anyway, we're still badly in need of information. Information, right. What we need the most is info about this Melissa Foster herself. All we know is that she's a student studying literature. And one more thing. What is it? Well, the incident that happened 5 years ago, of course. The kidnapping murder case that Zebra Boy is on death row for. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. Mr. Falls, in that case, tell us more about it, about what happened 5 years ago. Okay, I trust you. That day 5 years ago, I dream of it every day. Could it be that the victim from 5 years ago, her name was Foster or something? This picture, it reminds me everything. Bridge looks same, just like then, 5 years ago. Like it could fall apart any minute. So it's been broken like that for at least 5 years. Ha! Sorry buddy, but you sound like the one that could fall apart at any minute. It's true, I did kidnap her. 5 years ago I kidnapped my girlfriend, Dahlia Althorn. Dahlia Althorn? Melissa Althorn? Dahlia Althorn? They were sisters? Your girlfriend? Huh? Hey, hold on there. Did you say Althorn? Victim's last name. Dahlia Althorn, Valerie's little sister. What? Are you serious? The girl, let her go. And the bridge was already broken back then. Shut up, come closer and I kill her. Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. The detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. Why did he kidnap her anyway? At first I thought shooting someone for a kidnapping was crossing the line, but if it was to protect her little sister, I can understand why she did it. Wrong, no protect sister. Valerie betray me, betray us. What do you mean she betrayed you? Everything. All lies. All make-believe. Kidnapping too. A make-believe kidnapping? Dahlia, my girlfriend, my love, my teen angel. Did he actually say my teen angel? He's seen one too many soap operas. I do anything she says, anything Dahlia says. Anything Dahlia says? Hold on a minute. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by, yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie too. Valerie was in on it? Dahlia's family rich, jewelry business. We get one jewel, that's what we thought. Me and Dahlia wrote kidnap note we sent to her dad. Asked for $2 million diamond, tell him make exchange on Dusky Bridge. We tell him Valerie make transfer cause she knew detective. Having a police detective in your pocket is a useful thing, alright. In the end, you were planning on splitting the 2 million 3 ways, huh? Yeah, but that woman! That woman, Valerie, she do it for real. She shoot at me for real, me and Dahlia. Or shot in arm, Dahlia. She jump in river. Jump? You don't mean she jumped on purpose, do you? I couldn't do it, I could never push her. Anyway, I blacked out, wake up with police all over. And that's when they decided to give you the death sentence. I couldn't believe that that woman, she betrayed me. That man, Terry Falls, he killed her. He threw her off the bridge. He threw my beloved sister into the roaring river 40 feet below. Is it possible that Melissa Hawthorne is Dahlia? No, that can't be. These 5 years, all I wonder is why? 19, 25, 5 years ago? So Melissa would have been 14 at the time. Is it possible? Well, they look nothing alike. So nah, I don't think that's possible. Why did she lie? That's all I want to know. So that's why you called her. You wanted to hear the truth from Valerie herself. Yes, but I forget what she looked like, so I tell her to wear a scarf. I don't want to hurt her. I just ask why. Why? Why did you lie? Why did you betray me? I just want to hear answer come from her mouth, that's all. So that's why you made a crazy escape like that. Just one thing, zebra boy. My senses are tingling all over. Tell me, Mr. Falls, where is it? Huh? Where's what? Come on now, kid, the ransom, the $2 million diamond. Remember that now? Did you give it back to Pops? Did the police take it? I don't know. Huh? You don't know? No, really, I don't know. It's gone, with Dahlia. With Dahlia? That day on the bridge. Dahlia put it in backpack. Now gone with Dahlia. Gone forever. To Eagle River. It disappeared with Dahlia, huh? Wait a minute. You can't come back in now. You can come back in now. We're about ready to go. Mr. Falls, just one more question. When you said with Dahlia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Dahlia Hawthorne? Never found her, my sweet Dahlia. They never found her. Swallowed by the river. Gone, Dahlia, my teen angel. You're a teen angel. How old was she anyway? Just 14? 5 years prior? I guess you were robbing cradles before diamonds. Yeah, that was 5 years ago. How old was he anyway? Yeah, he was 20. She wasn't legal, you know. She plans a fake kidnapping and disappears into the river with a rock worth 2 mil. Man, oh man. Angels these days. Falls takes the fall and gets a one-way ticket to death row. Is Dahlia Hawthorne an angel, or is she really, It's time, kid. It looks like we have a few more aces up our sleeve now. Or maybe, let me guess. Is it possible that the two sisters were in on it? That she was never his girlfriend or something like that? I mean, if you know her, she pretended to be Phoenix's girlfriend just so that she could get her necklace back. She could pretend to be the girlfriend to an older guy like that just to get a diamond, right? Training wheels come off now, Mia. You've got to strike while the iron is hot. That's one of my rules, remember it. Now then, let's continue with the trial of Mr. Terry Falls. Witness, are you feeling better? Yes, Your Honor, I'll try my best. You're a brave young lady. Not this again. I can understand the defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, to try to pin the crime on an innocent student is... What are you talking about? My witness is not the person on trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime, that's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have for murdering a policewoman? It's certainly hard to imagine this woman as a murderer. Her motive, huh? I figured that's what I had to establish next. Well, Miss Faye, do you have any evidence of a motive? Yes, of course, I think. Huh. You're still acting as tame as a kitten. Mr. Armando, listen. A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is the mark of a pro. Maybe so, but I wish you would quit grinning at me like that. Excuse me, may I speak, Mr. Judge? Of course, Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like. I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why I at least wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true. I see you're such an honest and upstanding young lady. Looks like this witness is a real professional. What do you mean? Look at that 100-watt smile. Just when things are darkest for her, click, she lights right up. Very well, then. Let's hear what the witness has to say.
I was out of the country until the year before last. Until I entered college, I had never even been to Eagle Mountain before. And I certainly don't have a reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago.
Wait, what?
Or kidnapping a poor girl. I just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. Out of the country, eh?
Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder. Indeed. You're up to bat, kitten. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile. You bet. Somehow, I have to tie her to this case. Where were you?
So what country were you living in then? We were all living abroad, but after my parents were killed,
It was a brutal civil war. She had to try to make her way back home alone.
I lost everything. I didn't have any personal identification.
What kind of a sob story is this? What do I do? Should I press her for details? This is more and more looking like she's concealing her real identity. Witness, answer my question. I'll even repeat it for you. What country were you in? Your Honor, this line of questioning is childish. What country she was in and how many languages she may speak are irrelevant here. What we're here to evaluate is whether this witness has any connection to this case.
I've lived abroad ever since I was a little girl. That's why I could never have known Mr. Falls or Detective Hawthorne.
Yes, I think we've established that point. Yes, indeed. Well then, shall we add what you've just stated to the official testimony?
Yes, please, Mr. Judge. Naturally, I didn't know either the victim or the defendant. Until I had entered college, I had never even been to Eagle Mountain before.
I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer holding a grudge. Wait. A grudge?
Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death.
How would she know that if she was out of the country? I guess she could have learned about it in the courthouse, but that's precisely why he harbored such deep anger against her. So much anger that he forgot his own guilt. My client has always maintained that he's innocent of those charges.
He seems rather forgetful. Your client, I mean. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot about the poor policewoman as well.
What do you mean by that?
Your client, he forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well.
Well, she's right about that. Mr. Falls is kind of forgetful. You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What did you mean by that?
Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some kind of identification, right?
Quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf as identification.
Why, if I had been wearing a white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me.
That's true. He's clearly a better man. This is bad. Mr. Falls' reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's best not to poke too deep. What should I do with that last statement? Your Honor, what the witness said just now was tremendously important. I'd like it added to the official testimony. Well, let's try. Let's try at any rate. Yet the prosecution has no objection. After all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one at that. The testimony only helps to further prove that point. No, that's not why I... Enough. Witness, if you would.
My pleasure, Mr. Judge.
Well, I think if it really wasn't her on the bridge, that would explain why she wasn't wearing a white scarf, but it's blue. Maybe she didn't want to get killed, so that's why it's not white and it's blue instead. But at a distance, you wouldn't be able to tell really, well, is it really her? Is it not her? Because it's not really blue. It's light blue. Is it white? In the fog, it would have been hard to tell. Right? Or at least I think so.
Objection!
Yeah. Witness, I want you to take a look at this photo you took. It's hard to see in the photo, but look at the scarf the victim wore as identification. Ah, you're talking about this scarf right here, eh?
Yes, that's it. The scarf the policewoman was wearing.
How could you see it with the fog, by the way? I've got her now. Just don't mess up. But that's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. White? This is the scarf you identified as belonging to the victim. But it certainly doesn't look white to me. Oh. Well, it was foggy that day, and it was raining as well. It's not surprising that she mistook it for white.
Objection!
Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed that this was the victim's scarf. Yes, but what's the significance? It's true that the scarf doesn't look white, but there's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is... the letter? The victim's note? She wrote that, in my opinion. Witness, have you ever seen this note? Note? No, never. It's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would have. I wonder about that. What do you mean? This note shows Mr. Falls' instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear a white scarf for identification. White scarf? Ah! Witness, you knew that what this note said. Actually, I didn't think about that, but... No. It's really Falls who wrote that note. It's because you knew that you slipped up and mistakenly said white scarf. Actually, it's by accident that I found that, because I was thinking of something else. Well, Miss Foster... No! Order! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for an explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public, and yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Falls is one. The person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another. And finally, one more person. Did you say one more person? That's right, the person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kid? Yup. The third person that knew the contents of the note was... I'm suggesting that these two are the same person. And that person is Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? I've never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. This is her name right there. What's this? So who is this person? This Dahlia Hawthorne. What did the note say again? I knew it mentioned her, but... Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Miss Faye must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life. The dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes, she was kidnapped and killed by Terry Falls. But why did she write on the note that she had to tell Dahlia? You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course, people thought she had died 5 years ago when she fell off Dusky Bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found.
Objection!
She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead.
Objection!
But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she were still alive, she would be 19 now. Melissa Foster, I believe that's the same age you are.
Objection!
Even you couldn't, Miss Faye. You're not saying. Oh, yes, I dare. But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Ha, nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a 3-alarm fire. But unless you can tie all the loose ends together, you're not nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist. I understand. If I can expose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. Now is my chance to make Mr. Edgeworth squirm.
Witness, just who are you anyway?
I...
I didn't think it'd come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness.
Yes, I understand.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, please explain yourself. Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue the matter this far. You don't? You don't mean? Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conduct full background checks on all of our witnesses. What did he say? Ha, it looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go. No, wait, but then why? If you hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to the victim's younger sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. But, I thought she died 5 years ago. We thought so as well, but, well, as you can see. Why? Why did she hide her identity for 5 years? That has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime.
Objection!
Accidental? I don't believe that for a minute. Yeah, it sounds a bit big, right? For the last 5 years, she's been playing the role of victim. And now we find her acting suspiciously at the scene of another murder. You have to admit, really, Miss Faye, I must say your strategy here is painfully obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost. How dare you? Please, let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. But even worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious, her big sister. Miss Faye must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her. What? I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Faye, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? Well, no, she was in on it because her name was on the note. What possible reason would the witness have for killing her beloved sister? Well, you see, I thought I was winning, but somehow he's turned it around on me. I think you need a little push in the right direction, kid. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting our claim. That's Armando who said that. Or is that her? That wasn't me, it was this guy, this crazy coffee addict.
Objection!
I think we've heard enough empty threats from you, old man. Huh, what makes you think they're empty, boy? Because your protege looks like she's sweating bullets. I am sweating bullets. You think you're in a tough spot, huh? Of course, aren't I? No. You've just arrived at the moment of truth, that's all. Whether you win or lose, that's up to you. Up to me? The rashness of youth. How charming. This coming from someone younger than me? Now then, let's not waste any more time, Miss Faye. What motive would this witness have for murdering her own sister Valerie Hawthorne? Well, the fact that her sister said the whole truth must come out. I mean, the guy was imprisoned for a murder that he didn't commit since the girl wasn't even alive. Maybe Valerie wanted to come clean about the whole affair, but knowing Melissa Hawthorne and how manipulative she is, she probably didn't like that. That didn't sit well with her. The way I see it anyway, at this point in time. The story starts after Terry Falls escaped. He called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note she left. It says, "Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out." Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her she was going to reveal to the world the whole truth. The whole truth? There was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. That's the reason Dahlia felt she had to kill Valerie. To keep her mouth shut permanently. She was ready to let the poor guy go to prison anyway. So, it fits the character. A terrific story, Miss Faye. If you like fiction, that is. Enlighten the court, Miss Faye. What was the secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne and Terry Falls. There's only one important secret that connects them all. Oh yes, I know the secret. Diamond? What testimony? Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago, we believe, I believe there's more to it. Yeah, it's just the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters.
Very well, I grant your request for further testimony. I know it'll be painful for you, but can you enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf?
Yes, I'll try, Mr. Judge.
Putting on the old charm one more time, Dahlia. But this will be the last time you hide behind your womanly wiles. Yeah, by the way, wasn't she already called Dahlia in the first case? I couldn't even remember her name.
"5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom prize was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money, so I decided to change my identity and start a new life.
At 14 years old. At 14 years old, on your own. The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. And we're to believe after all that she murdered her sister? Preposterous. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Fay? Yes, Your Honor. As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination. Mr. Edgeworth got to jump on me again. Huh, if we're not allowed to fight, then let's twist some arms. Listen up, we've still got that info, that ace up our sleeve. What info? Come on, kitten. Don't say you've forgotten already. The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged. That's right, it was a fake kidnapping. Terry Falls told us that in the lobby. I do anything she says, anything Dahlia says. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by, yeah, me and Dahlia, and Valerie too. Yes, that's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's her secret. 5 years ago.
5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls.
The ransom prize was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. But I still have a hard time believing that, owing to the fact that there's ropes on both sides of the bridge. You would have a very hard time shoving her off. No, not that one. The witness's photo. Can I present that? Hold on, there's something I'm missing here. Yeah, he could have shoved her off the bridge, yeah. Because, yeah, there are ropes on both sides, but there's a part of the bridge that's broken, and we know from watching the flashback before that the bridge was broken at that spot. Except she wouldn't have fallen into the river if that was the case, right? She would have fallen onto that solid rock that's on the side there. If it's not that, it's the map, I think. Bridge unchanged for 5 years. No, okay, that's not it. I had it wrong. There we go. You say that Mr. Falls pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe.
But it's true. I felt a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Falls.
I'm sorry, I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible. Impossible? I asked that the court recall the condition of Dusky Bridge now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in these last 5 years. If someone had pushed you from behind, as you have claimed, instead of being carried away by the river, you would be dead. You would have been smashed by the bedrock below, a most certain death. Do you understand now, Dahlia Althorn? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible.
Objection!
Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why? For all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then.
Objection!
But it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small change in the water level wouldn't have made much a difference. Ah. Yeah, because then there would have been like, what? That amount of water on top of the bedrock? Yeah, no. That wouldn't have been enough to dampen the shock, or I don't know how to say it. Soften the shock against the bedrock. You're right. If the events occurred just as the witnesses testified, then the defendants couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this? You see,
Objection!
Just a moment, Your Honor. It's true that the witness testified that the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge. What do you mean? After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. That's impossible. The photo. Present the photo. If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. It's a pretty safe bridge in that regard. Well, Miss Althorn, is Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct?
Now that you mention it, I do remember now. When I fell off the bridge, my skirt got caught on one of the bridge's side wires.
You can't be serious. Order! Order in the court! I still say it's impossible. It seems Miss Faye's assault has finally reached its conclusion.
Objection!
Not now, Mia. This is no time to retreat. Unfortunately for you, this is just the start of Miss Faye's assault. What? I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mrs. Falls panicked. Therefore, you could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. Yeah, it's the unwittingly part that doesn't make any sense, because of the fact that there are many wires preventing someone from falling off by accident. He couldn't have pushed her off unwittingly. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Ridiculous. What's so impossible about it? Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record. No, not that one. Yeah, just look at that. It's many wires horizontally and even extra wires vertically. Come on. Unwittingly, that's impossible. But that's what I've been saying since the beginning, if you remember. Your Honor, all of the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up to about 5 feet of the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there. No!
Objection!
But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. Wires like this wouldn't be a problem for him. He could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over. But you just said unwittingly. So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Falls had been shot in the right arm. And more importantly, Valerie Althorn had her gun trained on him at point-blank range. Yeah, also. So, Mr. Falls throwing the witness off the bridge, that is clearly impossible. Rah. Yeah, the only way this could have happened is if she jumped off the bridge of her own accord. Order, order, what is the meaning of this? Dahlia Althorn, you jumped into the Eagle River intentionally. What is this? And why did he roar all of a sudden? Indeed, what do you mean by such a ridiculous remark?
Yes, it's ridiculous. My sister was there to help me. She had her gun and handcuffs. She could have saved me. Jumping into a raging river like that would have been suicide.
Objection!
Perhaps, but still, that's exactly what you did. You were probably confident that you could handle the swift current. But even more so, the witness had a much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. So she could make away with the diamond, right? Oh, then what was it? What was so important that she would want to jump into the river? The witness is still alive. This fact alone explains everything. This is why she risked her life by jumping into the rapids of the Eagle River. 5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. The item that Valerie brought up to the mountain with her, the $2 million diamond. No, it can't be. Yes, Dahlia had it all planned from the beginning. $2 million. She was going to keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Falls to help her fake the kidnapping. Yeah, he was never a bad guy, poor man. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with the ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Why, that's simply ridiculous. Order, order, order! Your Honor, 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan? And knowing her, you know, this woman is a demon. And there was one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. You mean the victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well?
Objection!
But she was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping? Precisely. I'm sure that it weighed heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder. What do you mean by that? On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Mr. Falls, Valerie called her sister Dahlia, and then she told her what she was planning to do. Planning to do? She was going to tell the whole truth, as she wrote in her notes. That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is when you hatched your demonic plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why you killed your sister Valerie Hawthorne. Hee hee. Who is that laughing at a time like this? Her, alright. Forgive me, it's just hilarious. Witness, is that you? You amuse me, woman. Miss Mia Fey. You can certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally. You have the evidence to back it up, don't you? Evidence? Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. That at 14 I plotted it with Mr. Falls and my sister. Well, and one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? If you can't provide evidence to at least show that. Well, Miss Fey, I don't know. What a joke. You, Miss Fey, are you stupid or something? How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Well, it seems that we've come to the end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does raise certain suspicions. However, I am forced to reject the assertions made by the defense. Of course you are. Is this it? Is it really over? That girl has made a fool of me and there's nothing I can do about it. Ha, without evidence that the trial is over? Who decided that? Mr. Armando. Come on now, kid. Haven't you figured out that you can't make your own rules? For example, even if there is no evidence, there's still testimony. Testimony. On the day in question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister Valerie Hawthorne. She hid her body in the trunk of Mr. Falls' stolen car and then went to meet with him. Disguised as her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right? Yes, that's right. In that case, there's only one answer, right? There is only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Since there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who is the one person who can testify to that demon woman's crime? Well, my client. Since he was the only other person who was in on it, on the kidnapping.
Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. A new witness? Yes, we would like to hear the testimony of Terry Falls. The defendant? There is only one person that can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that can say whether the person in the photo is Valerie Hawthorne, or whether it was in fact her younger sister Dahlia disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all, and that person is Terry Falls. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what is your take on this? Why not? The prosecution has no objection. Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand. This is my last chance, Mr. Falls. My last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You're all I have left. Well, if he loves her, if she's his teen angel, isn't he going to try to protect her? Defendant, you've heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes. I don't believe it. No way. Dahlia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me. Mr. Falls, I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Dahlia is very much alive, and you were used. For $2 million. That's not true. Mr. Falls, there's only one question I want the answer to. 2 days ago on Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Hawthorne or was it Dahlia Hawthorne? Dahlia, did you betray me? 5 years ago, she promised never ever betray each other. Oh, Dahlia is speaking to him? Terry. Dahlia, it's true. It's true, you are alive. You don't trust me anymore? That makes me sad. Tell the truth, the real truth. I believed in you. I shouldn't need to say it, you should already know. But there is one thing that I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry. Dahlia, boy. He's never gonna testify against her. Never. I will allow Mr. Falls to testify once and once only. And this is probably why this case ended up bad for Mia, and why it took like a whole year or something for her to go back and defend someone in court. And her next case being Phoenix Wright. Well then, Mr. Falls, yours will be the final testimony in this trial. Witness! I'm sorry. I apologize. Water, please, water. Can't talk. Need water. Oh, well, I guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. At least it'll match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitterer than hell itself. Who Terry Falls saw. That day, 4 p.m., I stopped the car. I was in front of the bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on the bridge. I watched my car from bridge. I never put nobody in that car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked, then she left. That was Valerie, not my Dahlia. So he says. Mr. Falls, you're covering for her. Do you think she would do the same for you?
Objection!
That's enough, Miss Fay. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of the trial. Well then, Miss Fay, please proceed with your cross-examination. Is this how you want it to end, Mr. Falls? Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence? There's only one person who can stop it. You, kitten, I think. Who Terry Falls saw. That day, 4 p.m., I stopped the car. I was in front of the bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on the bridge. Yeah, that bothers me. Look at the photo. She's standing in front of him on that side, but that side is where the bridge is broken. So it can't be. Someone had to be already there when he arrived. I think it's here. It's either here or when he said that she wasn't there.
Objection!
So when you got to the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So you waited on the bridge. You're sure of that? Yeah, I'm sure, but she would have to pass in front of him to stand in front of him for them, the both of them to be standing in that way as shown in the picture. You're sure, huh? Well, then I'm sure too, Mr. Falls. I'm sure that you're lying. Huh? What? What? Oh, I would love to hear your rationale on this, Miss Faye. You want to know who arrived at the bridge first? Just look at this photo, it's perfectly clear. Obviously, the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right? That's the victim at the end of the bridge. Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Falls, you must have arrived at the bridge after she did. Mr. Falls, please don't get so worked up. We just want the truth. I got there around 4 o'clock, it's true. I had somewhere to go, a special place. Did you go to this special place before you went to the bridge? Yeah, it's an old temple about 15 minutes from the bridge. 5 years ago, me and Dahlia, we promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She brought a memento to represent our love. A memento? 5 years ago, I hid it under a base of tree there. It's a special memory for me. This is it. This is what I went to get. This little bottle on the necklace is your memento. It's quite charming, but it looks empty. Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. But he then left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. Ah, that's how it happened. Then she killed her sister, put her in the trunk, and then the guy came back. He tried to go away. He didn't even know that the body was in the trunk then. With that much time, Dahlia Althorn could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of his car. No! Indeed, there certainly was enough time for it. I've still got a chance, Mr. Falls. There's no mistaking it. Huh, Mr. Falls? What? What? That's enough, please. A witness? I promised her 5 years ago, if it ever happens, that we can't trust each other no more, then we're supposed to drink bottle. No, stop the trial, Your Honor. We need to within the recess. I was stupid, couldn't keep promise. Oh shit, he poisoned himself. I thought he'd be found guilty in the end or something, that he wouldn't testify and that he would die from his death sentence or something. So I did it. I drank this. No, we are so close. Just a little more. I was going to prove your innocence. No, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill again. Kill sweet Dahlia again. Mr. Falls. Mr. Armando. Thanks for the coffee. Oh, what? He put it in the coffee, maybe? That's why he requested water then. He put the poison in the drink. Ah. And so my first trial... Oh man, shit. But that's a really bad ending. So my first trial ended suddenly and tragically. It ended with no winners, only losers. I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul I thought it would never heal. I'm sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well. But one person, the true criminal, Dahlia Althorn, she left the courtroom with her secret smile on her demonically sweet face. I hate her. Don't smile like that, you! Unforgivable, that witch. Mr. Armando, we were so close to the truth. It was right there in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kitten. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Don't cry, kitten. You're going to make my coffee all salty. I knew it. I knew I wasn't cut out for this. Mia. Don't you get it? You can't cry yet. Only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Mr. Armando. No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time, then you file them away and eventually forget them. 1 year later, in this very same courthouse, I myself got wrapped up in that case. Uh-huh. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. The verdict that was ultimately handed down to her was... yeah, guilty. Guilty, of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had the perfect angelic smile on her face. It was finally all over. At least, that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something has happened that's made me remember all this. That's gonna be the final case of the game then. That thing that happened that made him remember all of this. A brand new episode has been added. Bridge to the Turnabout. What is that? That's the statue of Amy Faye, it seems. Yeah. And then who is that on the picture at the bottom? Yeah, let's save progress. Well, I'm gonna hand the stream here for today, since I got through all of that case in one stream. I didn't quite expect that. I knew that it was supposed to be a bit shorter, but yep, I'm going to be back. I don't know if I can be back tomorrow for episode for the final turnabout of the game. I will try. I will try if I can, but this is going to be a very busy day tomorrow, and I might be tired by that time, but we'll see. Thank you everyone for watching, be it live or on my YouTube channel, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow if all goes well for the beginning at the very least of the final turnabout of this game. Bye bye, take care until then.